Tonight at 6, the historic election interference case against President Donald Trump here in Georgia is over. A Fulton County Superior Court judge dismissing the charges today after the special prosecutor who took control of the case said it should not move forward. The decision closing the book on a years-long legal battle in which Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis accused President Trump and 18 others of engaging in a criminal conspiracy to overturn his 2020 election laws. President Trump reacting in a lengthy post on Truth Social, saying in part, quote, "The deranged Democrats did all they could to viciously attack me, my supporters, and our MAGA movement for telling the truth." He went on to say we have to hold responsible those who attempted to destroy our legal system and nation itself as they tried to use it to silence and imprison political opponents for protecting our country and exercising our First Amendment rights. Well, tonight we have team coverage for you. 11 Alive's Doug Richards gathering reaction from the defendants. But we begin tonight with Grace King, live from the Fulton County Courthouse. Grace, this case stalled for nearly 2 years. Why did it end now?
Well, Special Prosecutor Pete Skandalakis says when this case came before the Prosecuting Attorneys Council of Georgia, it was already on life support. Now, that's after Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis had been removed from the case. He said he had to determine whether there was enough evidence for it to survive, and that his review found far too many questions about the case's jurisdiction, findings, and timeline for it to continue forward.
There's not a lot in the 2020 election interference indictment that Pete Skandalakis would take to trial.
The document that he submitted to the court goes through his thinking about all of the different charges against all of the different people.
In the fake elector allegations, where several defendants are accused of having 16 Republicans meet at the Georgia state capitol to sign electoral college documents falsely claiming Trump won Georgia in 2020, Skandalakis wrote he found no criminal intent behind their plan to challenge the election results. In Coffee County, where several defendants are accused of illegally accessing and inspecting voting software and copying election data, 2 defendants, Sidney Powell and Scott Hall, had already pled guilty. Skandalakis says they played the key roles in that scheme and felt further prosecution is unwarranted.
I have to find 12,000 votes, and I have them times a lot, and therefore I won the state.
And in this infamous leaked call between President Donald Trump and Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, where Trump pressed him on Georgia's results and referenced the number of votes needed to put him ahead of Biden, Skandalakis says he believes there are 2 equally plausible interpretations and that the burden of proof is on the state, not the defendants.
It's absolutely true that RICO cases take a lot of time. They take a lot of witnesses. There's often a lot of documentary evidence that jurors have to follow along with, and it can be a very complicated narrative.
Plus, Emory law professor Kay Levine says you have to factor in politics.
Jury selection would take a very long time to find people who don't know very much about the case or hadn't formed pre-existing notions about guilt or innocence for any of the alleged co-conspirators.
Skandalakis says there is no realistic prospect that a sitting president will be compelled to appear in Georgia to stand trial on the allegations in this indictment, and that separating his case from the others would be both illogical and unduly burdensome and costly for the state and for Fulton County.
And Skandalakis says he understands his decision. It will not be universally popular, but that his job is not to satisfy public opinion. He says his decision was guided solely by the law, ethics, and principles of justice. We did reach out to District Attorney Fani Willis's office multiple times for comment, but so far have not yet heard back. Live at the Fulton County Courthouse, Grace King, 11 Alive News.
All right, Grace, thank you so much.